Rebecca and welcome. In this video, we are going to discuss 10 tips to deal with negative criticism. Criticism is inevitable. If you're doing something, good or bad, you will be criticized. You're often criticized just for being who you are, and criticism can be directed toward many different areas, from your appearance to your performance at work to relationships, political views, or religious inclinations. Sharing your thoughts on any subject, regardless of its significance, will often be met with harsh criticism. It's important to note that there are two types of criticism: constructive criticism that comes from a thoughtful and caring critic, and destructive criticism from individuals who are intentionally trying to hurt you or get under your skin. So what is the difference between the two? Thoughtful critics would generally point out specific areas they feel you could improve on. This type of criticism would generally come from our close relationships and people around us who truly care about our well-being. Those type of people are generally genuine, and their delivery, whether stern or soft, will be respectful. These are the critics that would criticize with the intention to help you develop into a better version of yourself. This type of criticism can be very helpful, especially if you're open to receiving it. It is important to acknowledge this type of criticism and do a self-reflection. If you're trying to be the best version of yourself, it is important to pay attention and contemplate this type of criticism. The second type is destructive criticism. You will see a lot more of this type, especially if you're involved in social media or are a public figure. Generally, destructive criticism often comes from insecure people with low self-esteem. It is important to understand that they often don't have a problem with you or with what you do, so don't take it personal. It might be a personal psychological problem that they're dealing with and has nothing to do with you. Bringing someone down might temporarily give them a sense of self-worth or satisfaction. You just happen to be the target at the time. Often, the problem of those type of people is rooted deep within themselves. Once you start to recognize this type of criticism, it will have less of an effect on you. Here are some helpful tips on how to deal with this type of criticism. Number 1. Understand the limited mindset of others. People who are afraid to move outside of their comfort zone will often try to project their limitations onto you. They can't do it, so why should you? They might feel threatened or jealous. Many people have been raised with limiting beliefs and mindset. Seeing someone different threatens their philosophy. Understand how they see the world and realize that it was never about you to begin with. Number 2. Understand that you don't need their approval. Have a very clear understanding of who you're seeking approval from. You don't need everyone's approval, especially when you know your value, your worth, and you have confidence in yourself. If what you're doing is meaningful to you and important to you, you don't need to seek approval of others, especially the ones who have limited mindset. Ask yourself, what role do they play in my life? Should their approval really matter to me? Number 3. Understand that haters come with the territory. If you're in the public eye or in social media, it is impossible to be recognized and not criticized. Even the greatest minds and contributors of our world have critics. In fact, they have a large group of haters. On a positive note, a large amount of criticism or strong opinions on either side might draw more attention to your work. People enjoy controversy and drama. It is not about you. You just happen to be the talk of the town at the time. Number 4. Don't take things personally. If you take something personally, it is because on some level you agree with it. Perhaps it is your self-doubt and fears you're battling. Focus on what you do well and don't listen to negative criticism. You don't have to respond to comments or justify your choices and your actions. Stay in your lane and focus on your goals. Number 5. Remain sane. Sanity means tying your well-being to your actions. If you want to remain sane, you need to find happiness and meaning in the efforts you're putting in. This is about focusing on the journey regardless of the destination. The possibility of a failure will always be there, but you don't have to live in fear. We learn by overcoming adversity. We learn through challenges. Your work will remain restricted if it is tied to criticism or opinions of others, so focus on being creative. Number 6. Don't respond to negativity, haters, and trolls. Don't reply to negative comments on your blog posts, social media posts, or in person. Don't feel the need to defend yourself when you're being attacked. A response to those attacks will add more fuel to the fire. Ignoring them is disarming them. Put your energy into continuing to create. People who are hurt often attempt to hurt others. Don't play their game. Misery loves company. You are not miserable. Don't partake in what they're offering. Number 7. Recognize that no one is immune to criticism. If you understand and embrace this fact, it will set you free. No matter how good you are, how well you do, and all the positive effects you've had on the world, criticism will always be there. It is the one thing you can always count on, so learn to live with it. Number 8. What do critics do anyway? Consider the life of a critic. A critic takes a small amount of time to judge work you may have spent several hours, days, months, or even years to create. It's much easier to criticize other people's work than creating your own. Number 9. Remember that you are an example. Rejoice in the fact that someone is looking up to you. If you're pursuing something great, you have people who are looking up to you. There are people who appreciate your work and respect you for your efforts. Give them attention and energy. This will inspire you. Directing your attention toward hateful criticism will deplete your energy and creativity. Remember that you are touching someone's life with the work that you do. It would be selfish to hide your gifts from the world that needs them because you're afraid of criticism. Don't hold back. Number 10. Do great work and be your own critic. When you're creating something, be your toughest critic. Criticize your old work, not with the intent to put yourself down, but to improve and make it your best product. You can feel positive about the work that you do, even when it is criticized. Mahalo and aloha.